Single mom carried her baby through the storm. What the Mafia boss did will make you cry. Today, you're going to meet a single mom walking through a storm with her baby, and the coldest man in the city is about to do something no one could ever expect. Don't blink, because this story will make you cry. Before we start, hit like, subscribe, and comment. Join our little family. Every story we share is meant to touch your heart, and I promise, you'll feel every moment. The city was drowning in rain. Streetlights flickered, reflecting off puddles that swallowed the sidewalks. Mia Romano hugged her daughter, Alessia, tight. The wind ripped at her coat. Cold seeped into her bones. Alessia coughed softly, tiny body trembling. Her eyes searched her mother's face for safety. Mia's boots were falling apart. Her hands were raw from holding her daughter so close. She didn't care. She would walk through hell for her. Lightning split the sky. Mia stumbled. Her knees buckled. She fell, twisting to shield Alessia. Her body slammed into the wet pavement. Pain flared in her ribs. She didn't scream. She couldn't. Almost there, baby, almost, she whispered. Alessia mumbled, "Mommy, you're my hero." Mia froze. Rain mixed with tears on her cheeks. A sob escaped, not of surrender, but of determination. Then headlights cut through the storm. A black SUV slowed near the curb. A man stepped out. Tall, cold, dangerous, Rafael Eduardo. A name whispered with fear across the city. Known for ruthlessness, power, and a heart that seemed frozen. Tonight, he was watching. Not judging. Not moving fast. Just watching. Something about the mother and child made him pause. Something he hadn't felt in years. And in that frozen, rain-soaked moment, the impossible was about to begin. Rafael stepped closer, his coat flapping in the wind, umbrella in hand. He lowered it slowly, shielding Mia and Alessia from the relentless rain. His eyes, cold and calculating to the world, softened for the first time as he looked at them. "Come with me," he said, voice low but steady. Mia hesitated, recognizing the name whispered across the city, the man everyone feared, the one who could crush lives without blinking. Her body trembled, not just from cold but from instinctive fear. Rafael extended a hand, and she pressed her daughter closer before letting him guide her to the car. He opened the door, moving with calm precision, helping Mia inside without a word, just the quiet authority of someone who had never failed in protecting what mattered. The heater kicked on, warmth seeping into her frozen limbs, a blanket draped over Alessia's tiny shoulders. Rafael handed Mia a bottle of water, then leaned back, observing them through the rearview mirror. Alessia shivered, fever creeping into her delicate body, and Mia's heart lurched. She whispered, "She's burning up," panic rising like a wave she could not fight. Rafael's hands moved instinctively, gentle but firm, scooping Alessia into his arms. "We're going to the clinic," he said simply. Mia's mouth opened to protest, to explain about no insurance, no money, no place, but he shook his head. "I haven't asked," he said. The car raced through rain-slicked streets, lights slicing through darkness, urgency controlled by his calm, precise hands. Inside the emergency room, Mia carried Alessia to the nurses, explaining the symptoms with efficiency. The doctor confirmed a high fever from pneumonia, serious but treatable. Mia's hands shook as the nurse handed the paperwork. Rafael quietly paid, signature discreet. No one noticing, no expectation of thanks. She froze, gratitude clashing with fear, recognizing that the man they called ruthless, heartless, cold-blooded, had just saved her daughter without hesitation. "Why? Why are you doing this?" she whispered, voice raw, eyes wide. Rafael's gaze met hers, unwavering. "Because I can," he said, almost under his breath. "Because someone should." Mia's chest tightened, shame and relief mixing in a storm of emotion. She wanted to step back, to refuse, to hide, but Alessia curled in Rafael's arms, fevered and fragile, and she could not. She watched him, The infamous Mafia boss, a man with an empire built on fear, showing kindness in the smallest, quietest gestures. Her heart raced, conflicted. Could she trust him? Could she accept that this terrifying man could also be gentle? Raphael, meanwhile, felt the tug inside him, the forbidden warmth he had buried under years of cruelty and rules. Caring for them was against everything his world demanded, against his image, against every expectation. Yet he could not ignore them, could not walk away. Each moment, each small act of protection, each hand on her shoulder, each blanket wrapped around Alessia, tore at the cold walls he had built. His moral code screamed one thing, but his heart, long buried, whispered another. He had no right, no reason, and yet here he was, holding a sick child, guarding a terrified mother, breaking every rule he had ever lived by, because something about them reminded him that even he could feel, even he could care. Raphael drove in silence, rain now a gentle drizzle, city streets slick with water. Mia held Alessia, her small body curled against her chest, eyes half closed, finally drifting into exhausted sleep. They pulled into a private estate, tall gates, cameras, and guards stationed at strategic points, the kind of fortress built by a man the world feared. Raphael opened the car door without a word, gesturing for Mia to step out. She froze at the sight, the cold grandeur, the shadows of the guards, awe and fear mixing in her chest. Alessia stirred slightly, and Raphael handed her a thick blanket, draping it carefully over the child. Inside, he said softly, voice low but firm. Mia's wet shoes squelched on the polished stone as she followed him, unsure if she was stepping into safety or another world she did not belong in. The house smelled faintly of wood polish and faint heat, clean and cold, but protective. He motioned toward a room where Alessia could rest. She should sleep, he said. Mia placed Alessia gently in the small bed, brushing damp hair from her forehead, whispering, "Sleep, baby, everything will be okay." Raphael watched quietly from the doorway, the guard-like aura of his presence unbroken, yet something softer lingered in his gaze. Hours passed, Alessia deep in sleep, and Mia remained seated, hands clutching her knees, chest tight. Raphael finally stepped closer, quietly, speaking as if testing the air. "Why were you out there alone in the rain with her?" His voice was calm, measured, almost unnatural for a man the city whispered about in fear. Mia's eyes welled instantly, tears she had held back all day spilling over. She looked down at Alessia, whispering, "I had no choice." Sobs broke from her chest as she began to explain, voice trembling. I left him because I couldn't. I couldn't live like that anymore. He would flirt with other women in front of me, in front of Alessia, and when I tried to speak, he would hit me. I tried to stay strong. I tried to protect her, but my salary, it's not enough. The rent, it expired last week. I can't even send her to school. Every day is a surviving, trying not to fail her. Raphael listened silently, each word cutting through him, each sob shaking the room. Mia continued, hiding nothing, pouring every ounce of pain, fear, and shame into the words. The guards outside remained vigilant, but inside, the house felt smaller, warmer somehow, as her story filled it with desperate truth. "I'm trying to give her a life she deserves, and I feel like I'm failing her every day," Mia whispered, her voice cracking, tears streaming down her cheeks. Raphael's chest tightened, a rare knot of emotion forming in a man who had long buried every human feeling. He did not speak at first, only watched, letting the weight of her honesty sink into the room, into him. Her story, raw and heartbreaking, echoed in the silence, and even his iron-cold heart felt the ache of her struggle, the exhaustion of a mother who had given everything and been left with nothing. For the first time, Mia felt someone seeing her, not pity, not judgment, just seeing her. Rafael finally spoke, his voice low, steady, controlled yet undeniably softer than the world had ever known from him. You're not failing her. You're doing everything you can. That takes more strength than most people can imagine. She looked up, broken, searching his face, disbelief and hope tangled together. He stayed close, but didn't overwhelm, letting her breathe, letting her feel the first moment of safety she had known in months. Mia didn't want to cause trouble. Alessia slept quietly, and she felt restless, guilt-heavy, and convinced she was a burden. She remembered a small side service door she had seen when they arrived. The guards patrolled the main entrances, cameras focused on the driveway, but the side door was often used for deliveries and staff. She quietly slipped out, thinking it was a safe gap, moving carefully to avoid cameras she had noticed. It wasn't a bold escape. Just a quiet, desperate walk outside to breathe, think, and be alone with her thoughts. The drizzle chilled her, her coat doing little to keep out the damp, but she pressed on, hugging Alessia tight. Hours later, guards noticed the side door had been opened and reported it, cameras showing her leaving the property. Rafael's attention snapped immediately. He felt something he had buried for years, a raw ache of loss, and without a second thought, he went after them, keys in hand, coat pulled tight against the drizzle. He drove through the streets with calm urgency, scanning every corner, alley, and park, his usual control replaced by worry he couldn't hide. Finally, in a deserted lot under the weak glow of streetlights, he saw her huddled against the brick wall, Alessia pressed to her chest, wet strands of hair plastered to her face. "Mia," he said softly, stepping closer, removing his coat and draping it over both mother and daughter, shielding them from the rain, voice low but firm. "You don't have to do this alone." She lifted tear-streaked eyes to his, trembling, wary, exhausted, pride warring with relief. I didn't want to be a burden," she whispered. "You're not a burden," he replied, steady, controlled, eyes locked on hers, the city around them fading into insignificance. "I should have known better than to let you leave. You shouldn't have been out here, alone, with her, in the storm." She shook her head, words catching in her throat, sobs spilling free as she admitted every fear, every failure, every sleepless night, the humiliation of her life, the cruel hand of a husband who left her with nothing. Rafael listened, silent, the cold edge of his world softened, letting her pain fill the space between them. "You're stronger than you realize," he said finally, voice low, unwavering. "I'll take care of you both. I'll make sure Alessia is safe, that you have a place to stay, that you can start again. School, work, a roof over your head. Whatever you need, I'll handle it." She choked back tears, disbelief and hope clashing violently, chest tight as the weight of his words sank in. I don't know if I can trust anyone," she whispered. "Then trust me," he said simply, stepping back enough to give her space, letting her breathe, letting her feel the offer was real, not control, not expectation, only protection and respect. She nodded slowly, hugging Alessia tighter, letting the first sense of relief wash through her, knowing the storm around them had passed, even if the clouds lingered above. Rafael guided them back to the estate, every step guarded, the lights and cameras, the walls, the trained guards surrounding them, a fortress for their fragile new beginning. Inside, warmth welcomed them, Alessia's soft breathing in the small bed, Mia finally letting herself relax, hands unclenching, chest easing from tension held too long. Days passed with quiet routines, meals shared in silence, small tasks accomplished together, trust building like sunlight through storm clouds. Mia prepared food, cleaned, cared for Alessia, proving strength and capability, while Rafael remained a constant presence, offering small comforts, watching without intrusion, softening without words. He ensured school applications were handled, A small savings started, her path to rebuilding clear, tangible, respected. Slowly, Mia's laughter returned, Alessia's bright smiles filling the house, and Rafael's cold exterior cracked, revealing the man who could care deeply, fiercely, without losing control, without expectation, only protection. Nights ended with quiet conversations over tea, shared silences that spoke more than words, the storm of the past replaced by the steady rhythm of safety and hope, a bond forming in trust, respect, and the unspoken promise that whatever life threw at them, they would face it together. Mia walked back into the cafe for the first time since that stormy night. She walked into the bustling diner, apron tied neatly, hair pinned back, and a new sense of purpose in her steps. She moved with quiet confidence, serving customers with a gentle smile, Alessia safely at her side in the small carrier Rafael had arranged for her comfort. Every tray she carried, every word she spoke, was proof that she was rebuilding, not just surviving. Alessia laughed freely, chasing after other children during brief breaks, her small hands grasping for life's little joys that Mia had once thought impossible to give her. Rafael watched from a distance, seated at a corner table under the guise of business, coat collar high, eyes scanning the room with the intensity everyone feared, but privately every glance softened when it fell on Mia and her daughter. His empire remained untouched, his reputation unshaken, ruthless to outsiders. Yet inside, his heart had learned to care, to protect, to nurture without surrendering strength. He noticed the little victories. Mia managing the diner's busy lunch rush, Alessia trying a new word, a smile shared between mother and child that lit Rafael's chest like sunlight breaking through storm clouds. Their bond, unspoken but unbreakable, became a quiet rhythm. Mia gaining independence, Rafael offering support without intrusion, trust building in layers of mutual respect. Evening came, and Rafael escorted them back to the estate. The gates closed behind them, the house silent and secure, warmth spilling from the windows, reflecting a life now safe, steady, and full of promise. Mia prepared dinner, Alessia giggling beside her, and Rafael stood back, allowing them space, yet ever present, the quiet guardian of their fragile, precious world. After dishes were cleared and the night settled, Mia sat by the window, Alessia asleep at her side, watching the first golden rays of dawn stretch across the sky, thinking how far they had come from the storm-soaked night that had brought them together. Rafael appeared beside her silently, offering only a hand, a look that spoke more than words could convey. Protection, understanding, and a rare invitation to belong. Mia squeezed his hand gently, a small smile breaking through the shadows of past fears, and Alessia stirred, reaching out instinctively for both of them. Laughter filled the quiet house, unforced, pure, like sunlight flooding a room long locked in darkness. The storm had passed, both outside and within their hearts, leaving warmth, family, and the unshakable promise that no matter what came, they would face it together. Mia glanced at Rafael, eyes misted but bright, whispered, "We're home." And Rafael, for the first time letting the world see only what mattered, nodded, his cold reputation intact, yet his hidden heart fully revealed, a melody of hope, healing, and the second chances they had all earned. Thank you so much for staying with me till the end of this story. Honestly, it means more than you know. If you're hearing my voice right now, just know you're part of this little family we're building. I appreciate you, I value you, and I'm really grateful you chose to spend your time here. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'm begging you, it helps more than you can imagine, and it keeps this channel alive so I can keep bringing you stories that touch your heart. Drop a comment too. Tell me, what part of the story moved you the most? Did Rafael's change surprise you? Did Mia's strength inspire you? I want to hear from you. Talk to me. Let's grow together, let's build this community together, and let's keep supporting one another. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and thank you for being here. I love you all, and I can't wait to see you in the next story.